Hi YouTube, VSGers, sleevers, and people thinking about getting sleeved. This is Vsg Jacee, and I am back to tell you all about my experience in Tijuana, Mexico. I just want to start by saying I live in Salt Lake, so my mom and I went to the airport. We got there at like 5 a.m. and we're sitting there at the airport and there's like all these thugs behind us, and all of a sudden they call, they're like, Fort Worth, Texas, and we're like, no, that's not us. So I panic and I run over to the little like sign that says all the flights, and we were sitting at the wrong terminal. So we go to the right terminal and we were just sitting there, and luckily the flight attendant, one of them forgot her book, and so they were kind of running late a little bit, so we were fine. We sat there and I actually got to meet one of my sleeve sisters. We actually had the same flight there and the same flight back, so that was kind of cool. But yeah, so we get on our flight. The flight was just your ordinary flight, and then we landed in San Diego, and as soon as I landed I had a text from the driver, Jack, and he just let me know to let him know when I land, and he will tell me what to do from there. So I texted him and told him, I said, hi, I just landed, and he said, okay, go outside and I want you to just walk outside and you'll see like these green signs and they will have which portal you're at. And so I went outside and I texted him, I'm like, hey, I'm at portal H, or I think that's the one we were on. And he texted me back saying that they had been brought into a second inspection. So my mom and I ended up waiting like an hour. I went and got some hot water from Jack in the Box, and she got a hamburger and some fries, which she was super thankful that we did. When Jack arrived, he was super nice. He got out of the car. He was wearing a name tag that said Lighter Me, and he showed up in a van that said Lighter Me as well. And he said, hi, are you Jacee? They all pronounce my name Jacee because J's in Spanish are H. And he introduced himself, and then he picked up both of our luggage and put it in the van for us, so that was really nice. We got in the van and he went and picked up another girl and her mom. Her name was Casey. She's also one of my sleeve sisters, and they were supposed to pick up the girl that flew with me, but her and her husband decided to go to the beach for a little while, since we did get there at about 9-10 o'clock. So after that we stopped at the gas station. He got gas, and then we went through the Tijuana border. We went through the Mexico border, and I kind of have a video of how it looks, and I'll place it right here if I can.
On my left, that are the lanes into Tijuana, to USA. And it's supposed right here, this boy yellows on the street, is the real border. Oh. Here's Mexico now, but the checkpoint is...
Jack was super nice. He was just kind of pointing out everything. He's like, this is the actual border. So once we got into Mexico, they had our van pull off into like this little parking spot, and they came and opened up the back doors. Jack told us to like say hi and just be nice and friendly. So I said hi, and she just kind of gave me a dirty look, and she patted the van, and we were good to go. So we drove straight to the Me Hospital, where Casey and I both got our EKGs and our blood work done. The blood work was great. They got me on the first try. And then my EKG was awesome as well. We had this sweet little lady. She didn't speak the best English, but she was just super nice. It's not very often that you just lay there butt naked with someone. And she gave me like a little hospital gown, but still you had to leave it open so she could put all the stuff on your chest. And so after we got done with that, we were just sitting there waiting for Jack to come and get us. And it was brought to my attention that I was going to be one of the first ones in the morning with Dr. Covarrubias. So they told me to meet down in the lobby at 3:30 a.m. and Casey was a bit later, so they said that because I was one of the first ones, they actually wanted to, get my weight and do my consultation in today. So they said that the doctor was going to be about 45 minutes. So my mom and I just kind of hung out in the waiting room, little lobby at the Me Hospital, where they have Wi-Fi and water. So that was totally fine. After about 45 minutes to an hour, we had a doctor come and he said, "Are you Jacee?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Perfect, let's go in for your consultation." He told me that Dr. Covarrubias wasn't going to make it to our consultation, but he was one of Dr. Covarrubias' assistants. So they took my weight. He asked if I had any questions. He asked if my mom had any questions. And then he just kind of explained what was going to happen in the morning and just reminded me to be down in the lobby at 3:30. But he said to go a little bit early because I actually have to check out of my hotel room. So that was super easy. Anyways, we had a driver, and if I remember, I'll put his name right here. And he was so friendly and so nice. He took me and my mom as well as 2 other girls back to the hotel. And on the way there, he was just he was driving past things, and he would just say, "Okay, if you look to your left, you're going to see this park. If you look to your right, you're going to see this." He was pretty funny. He drove past a little place, and it was like a showgirls, and it said, "Thousands of beautiful women and 3 ugly ones." And he's like, "This is our church here in Tijuana." And I don't know, he was just super nice. When we got out, he asked if I had checked in, and I told him no. So he actually took me and my mom's suitcases and walked us up to the welcome center in the hospital, where he got us all checked in. We didn't wait very long. We maybe waited 10 minutes or so, and then they took us to our room and gave us our room keys and actually walked us up there. So that was super nice. The hotel room, I wish I would have got some more pictures of it. It was very nice. It had tile floors, and then it had 2 queen beds. It had a nice bathroom, a nice shower. Everything was all for handicapped, so this toilet seat had like the little bars that you can grab. So it was fine. We were only there for 1 night. So my mom, when we were in Mexico, her stent gave out in her leg, so we couldn't do a whole lot of walking. So we walked across the street, and we actually ate. My mom got some chicken, and I got some of the beef broth that everyone talks about at the La Fountain, Argentina La Fountain place. I didn't think the beef broth was that great, but I also wasn't super hungry like maybe everyone else was, and my mom said her chicken was just okay. We then walked down to the OXXO, and we just got some water, and I got my mom a Diet Coke, and we walked back to the hotel and just hung out by the pool. And when we were just chilling at the pool, I had a girl come up to me, and she's like, "Are you Jacee?" And I was like, "Yeah." And it was actually another one of my sleeve sisters. Her name is Liz. So Liz was saying that she came alone, and that a bunch of the girls were going over to the restaurant across the street that I had already been to. So my mom was like, "Jacee, you just go." She's like, "I actually want to watch the Utah Jazz game." So she went back to the hotel, and I went with Liz across the street to meet the other girls. They had beef broth, but I was already full, and so I just had some tea. And after that, we all just went back to the hotel, and I actually got in a nice shower, and I blow dried my hair and straightened it and just kind of got ready for the morning because I knew I was gonna have to get up early. And I went to bed even though my mom was watching the Utah Jazz game in Spanish. So then my alarm goes off at 3 o'clock in the morning. My mom and I didn't really unpack, so I just got up and I just straightened a few pieces of my hair. I got dressed into some comfortable clothes, which I knew wasn't really gonna matter because I was going to be changing. And we went down, and we were downstairs by 3:15, and Anna, my sleeve sister, said that they were ready for us. And so we quickly checked out, and then the driver, Antonio, he took all of our bags to the van, and my mom and I got in the van along with Anna and her husband, and we drove to the ME hospital, which is about a 10 to 15 minute drive. It was super peaceful. Tijuana was really quiet, and it was really beautiful. They have these roundabouts with all these like statues and fountains. It was actually a really, really pretty place. And I know it gets a bad rep for its name, but there was not one time that we felt unsafe or in danger. It was very clean, and everyone was very kind. They helped us exchange our US dollars and pesos, and everyone was very honest. So it was just beautiful. We got to the hospital and they took us back up to the lobby. And they called Anna and I back and they said, Jacee, we're still working on getting your room done. So do you mind hanging out on this like, it's like a extra bed that like her companion would sleep on. So Anna got changed in the bathroom and then I got changed in the bathroom and they gave us our stockings. So we're both sitting there like, and the gowns are really short and mine didn't tie in the back. So we're both like trying not to flash each other. And we got on our stockings and they asked if we were ready for IVs. They gave us our IVs first. And we were under the impression that Anna was first. So once they got on our IVs, they asked if they just wanted us to turn off the lights. And we both laid there for about 10 to 15 minutes. I think we were both too nervous to sleep, so we just kind of laid there and made small talk and talked about why we were getting the surgeries. And then they came in the room and they're like, Jacee, are you ready? And I was like, what? I'm first? Like, I didn't even have time to be nervous. So I sat down in which I was perfectly fine to walk, but they sat me down in a wheelchair and they handed me my IV bag and they pushed me to the room and they said, okay, go ahead and lay on this bed. And I was like, I had my glasses on and they're like, what are you gonna do with your glasses? And I was like, well, I wanna give them to my mom. Do I get to see her? And one of the assistants came and got my mom and my mom took my glasses, which I was kind of nervous. So I don't really even remember her taking my glasses. But I just told my mom that I loved her and my mom said, you're gonna do great. Then my mom left. She couldn't even go past this little wall, so we were talking like across the room. And she left, and then Dr. Covarrubias and Dr. Chris Bajo came and got me, and they said, go ahead and climb onto this, I guess it's like the procedure table, and I remember your arms go straight out like this. So Dr. Covarrubias said, you know, hi, I'm Dr. Covarrubias, and he just talked to me. He said, are you nervous? And I said, yes, kind of. And he says, don't worry. He's like, we're going to do great. We're going to give you some tequila juice to calm all your nerves. I briefly remember him saying something, asking if he could pray with me. But I don't know, because at that time I was starting to get kind of groggy. And then they said something like, okay, here comes your tequila juice. And the next thing I know is I'm being rolled around in the bed, and I think I was in the elevator, and I woke up and I just said, pain, but it wasn't pain, it was more pressure that I was feeling like on my chest. So I remember waking up a few times and saying, pain, like, Mom, I'm in pain, help me. But it wasn't pain, it was just like pressure, and I just felt like someone was sitting on my chest and I just couldn't like get up. When I finally woke up, my mom asked about my Jeffree Star tattoo that I have right here. I'll show you. Yes, my shirt says Horizontal Running Team. So I met Jeffree Star in Las Vegas. He signed my arm and I tattooed it on. So she was not happy with me and she let me know, but I didn't really care. And I said, my mouth is so dry, can I get some ice chips? And I was just like, I was dying of heat. And so we asked him to come and turn on the AC. And I remember my mom was just freezing and I gave her my little blanket that I took, and she was sitting in the chair next to me and I was just laying down, and that whole day I was just kind of in and out of it. They asked me to get up and walk, and I walked a little bit and I was feeling really dizzy and kind of nauseous, so I just laid down. And I only walked 2 or 3 times, but not very far at all, like only maybe like 20 steps or so. So I went to bed that night. I didn't sleep very well. I don't know if it's just because I didn't have my insomnia medication or what that was, but the nurses kept coming in and they'd put the wrap on you and the thing on your finger to check. They came in, kept switching out your IV bags and putting pain meds, and they were really attentive. They spoke very good English. The only one that didn't speak very good English, luckily, the only word I know in Spanish, frío, means cold. My mom was so cold, she begged me to turn off the AC even though I was dying. So we turned it off for a little bit. We couldn't just seem to get it the right temperature. So we were either freezing or sweating. But I woke up the next morning and I was just not feeling good. I took a sip of, or not sip, they don't give you any water or anything. I took some ice chips and I got up to go to the bathroom and I just remember dry heaving. But because you can't flush in Tijuana, you can't flush your toilet paper, it all goes into like a little waste bin. So I was dry heaving into the waste bin that had the tissue that we had wiped our asses with, and it smelled so bad. I remember that smell is something I probably will never get out of my head, but I was just dry heaving, nothing was coming out, and I said, I'm nauseous, and my mom went and got a nurse and they gave me some nausea medication. That whole day I was just so nauseous. I remember asking my mom, I said, I don't know what I did. I just made the biggest mistake of my life. I'm so nauseous. And I just felt so weak. So that day they're like, you're going to feel so much better once you get your drain tube out. So I said, okay. And I said to the doctor, I said, pick me first to get mine out. So they took me for my, my leak test. So they took me downstairs and I remember just sitting there and I was so dizzy and so nauseous. I was just like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna die. So I believe it was Casey went right before me and she passed hers and she said it wasn't bad at all. So I went in there and he said, okay, I'm gonna hand you this cup and I want you to take a big gulp first. And then he said, when I say okay, take 2 smaller gulps. And he said, I'm gonna take your shoulders and just kind of like arrange you. So I said, okay. He gave me this just styrofoam cup and it just looked like there was water in there. So I took like a pretty big gulp. It was so nasty. I don't even know how to describe it. It was like the nastiest cold and cough medicine mixed with Pepto-Bismol. Like it was just disgusting. And then I took my 2 sips and he said, everything looks good, you passed. Which Dr. Covarrubias told me that I had passed because they had done one prior to waking me up. They did another leak test. So he said, okay, we're going to take out your drain later this evening. So for the rest of the day, I just continued dry heaving, trying to sleep, but I was so uncomfortable and my stomach was having like spasms in it. And I don't know if that's because I was just about to start my period or if they were real spasms. But they gave me some more pain medication and nausea medication, and that night when the doctor came in, I told him, I was like, I love you, I hope you're here to take out my drain, and he said, I am. They took out the drain, which didn't feel funny at all. I don't want to say that it felt painful, and it didn't feel good, it was just there, and I was just so excited to get it out. So I got it out, I lifted up my gown. My mom saw my other tattoo on one of my other tattoos on my ribs, and she was very unhappy with me and she wanted to know if there was any more, and we got in a little tiff over my tattoos, but it was okay. The doctor came in again and he talked to me for maybe about 20 minutes personally. He just asked if I had any questions, if my mom had any questions. He said that I did great. I'm a low risk patient. He expects me to heal perfectly fine. He was just super sweet and he kept saying, you're gonna feel better by tomorrow. And I was just looking at him like, yeah, right, dude, I've been puking all freaking day, but not puking anything but air, which is so painful on your brand new tiny tummy. Behold, I woke up the next day. I didn't sleep very good again because the nurses were in and out. But I woke up again and I was feeling so much better. They gave me a red Powerade and they wanted me to drink it, but they are dead wrong if they think I'm drinking a red Powerade because those are sick. They said, okay, we're gonna finish this last bag of pain medicine and we are going to take your IVs out. So they did all that and they said, okay, go ahead and get dressed and meet downstairs at this time. So my mom and I packed up my bags and we got dressed and we went downstairs and we got on a bus with all of my sleeve sisters and they drove us back to the hotel. We went up to the welcome center and they gave us our purple Alighter Me bags, which are full of our pain medication. They have nausea medication, our antibiotics, this stuff to drink before you take your antibiotics. I think it's just to settle your stomach. And then it just came with some Band-Aids, and it came with your little meal card and just some like a lighter me like pamphlets and stuff like that. Gave us our rooms, and they said, okay, take you on a tour of Tijuana. They said the tour is going to be today at noon, then there's not going to be one tomorrow. So even though I was just like dead tired, I was like, okay, I'm going to go and I'm going to take a really nice long hot shower, and I'm going to get ready and we're going to go. So by the time I took a shower, I was feeling like a completely new person. So I showered and we got ready and we went on our tour, which was a lot of fun. Abraham was our tour like director person, and he was just so funny. They took us to get ice cream. My mom and I shared like a little tiny cup about this big, and I didn't dare eat more than like 2 or 3 bites because I just didn't know what my stomach was like. So then we go to a pharmacy, and the pharmacy puts on this whole presentation of what they recommend, and then they said, if you have any questions or you're wanting anything, just ask us. And they said, and we're also giving out free B12 shots today. So my mom and I went and got our free B12 shot, which left a pain in my butt for over a month. But they had samples of like the nausea medication and the pain pills. So I took a sample of the nausea medication and the pain pills, and then I bought some nausea medication, and then my mom bought some muscle relaxers for my stomach, and then I bought some acid reducers. They're so much cheaper there. So they took us to downtown Tijuana, where they had like these little markets, and we went in there and kind of haggled with them. They really want you to buy like the fake Michael Kors bags and stuff. I probably would have bought one, but I wasn't going to pay $75 for a fake one. We bought some shirts, and they had little kids get on our bus that were selling us jewelry, and they had a guy get on with a guitar and he sang. And if I can, I'll put the video right here. Dinero, mucho dinero, y no soy marinero, y por ti querer. Everybody say, come on. Bam, 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 bam. One more time. Bam, 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 bam. Once again. Bam, 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 bam. After that, he took us to this restaurant and said, all the patients, I'm gonna order you some. He said it was potato broth, but it was more of a tomato broth. And he brought out chips and salsa for all of our companions. And then he kind of explained to them what their special was and just helped them out. My mom, I'll put a picture of what my mom got. She got a beef and, well, they said it was a meat and shrimp street tacos. It looked so good and smelled so good. And I ate my broth. They also gave us these drinks, and they were Fuse brand. And they were peach teas, and they were the most delicious thing. I bought so many of them in Tijuana to drink, and I can't find them here in the US except for at the movie theater in the little fountain machines that you press the button, the Coke ones, the fancy Coke ones. After we got back from the tour, we were just kind of pooped. My mom and I went and just laid in our room, and I actually fell asleep. And then we just kind of woke up, we did some walking, we went over to the OXXO, and my mom got these. They're Fritos, but they kind of have like a lemon lime flavor, and I actually chewed on one and then spit it out, and they're super good. I ended up bringing some home for my boyfriend, some of my coworkers, and I brought a bag back for myself for when I could eat them. So my mom and I like packed up on the Fritos, but we went to bed kind of early that night. Like I said, I was pooped. I slept so good. The pillows and the beds there at the Grand Hotel are so comfortable. Everything was just super comfortable. I slept good. I woke up the next morning and my mom was like, I'm hungry, let's go to breakfast. So they have this little, it's a buffet and just a little restaurant inside the hotel which overlooks the golf course. It's absolutely beautiful. So my mom and I went down there. My mom got some eggs, and I told them, I said, oh, I can't have anything but soup. And they actually brought me some chicken broth, which I don't know if I mentioned before, but at the hotel you get 3 chicken broths, 3 apple juices, and 3 of the popsicles each day. And the popsicles are so good. But we ate at this restaurant, and then we went upstairs. And we ended up, my mom's leg was just killing her, so we ended up just hanging out by the pool for a little bit and sticking our feet in the hot tub. you know, just kind of talking to my sleep sisters the whole time. We went back upstairs, and we took a little nap, and I woke up and we played Phase 10, which I promised my mom if she went with me I would play with her, even though I hate that game because I never freaking win. It's a dumb game. My mom fell asleep, and so I believe I showered again, and I just kind of hung out and just, you know, just did whatever, just hung out. It was just relaxing. I got on Facebook Messenger and I video chatted my boyfriend, and when my mom woke up she was like, I hear piano music, and I was setting my alarm while she was sleeping, so I thought she just heard my alarm music, like the jingles, and she was like, no, there's piano music. So we went downstairs, and I go and I ask the door attendant guy, I'm like, sir, my mom's crazy and she heard piano music. Do you know where we can find that? And he's like, yeah, it's right over there. So then I had to buy my mom a unicorn frappuccino from Starbucks. We decided to walk across the street. There was this place called La Torta, and we went there because my mom wanted like a taco or something, but they actually had like taquitos rolled up with like fresh guacamole and stuff that she had. It smelled so good. And I just drank my peach fuse tea. And while at the hospital when I was there was nurses that would come around and be like, hey, we're gonna order food. Here's what your options are. We can order you a hamburger, we can order pizza, and they would tell my mom how much it was in American dollars. So they ordered a pizza for my mom. The first night it was just a Domino's pizza. And then the second night she ordered a burger, I believe is what it was. But you would see all the companions go over to this desk there, and you would see all of us patients. We were walking around, and I'm so lucky I brought some little like hot shorts because a lot of us, the back didn't fully close. So some girls were just cruising around in their skibby underwear, and I had my shorts on, so I felt awesome. After my mom and I went to La Torta, we just came back and we kind of packed up our bags and got in bed. The next morning we woke up fairly early. I had the nurse come and change my bandages. I got my last chicken broth, apple juice, and popsicle. And we met down in the Welcome Center, and they actually put us on 2 buses and took us back to the San Diego airport. Going through the border was super cool. I have a video of it, but there was all these lines, and we went through them maybe like 20-30 minutes, but they had all these lines, and there was all these people selling like homemade churros and like all these types of like trinkets and these vases and like water glass sets. And if we had room, I probably would have bought some. But so we got to the hotel, or we got to the airport, and we still had maybe about 3 hours until our 3 or 4 hours till our plane left. So a bunch of us got in an Uber to Mission Beach. And when we got there, my mom's leg was just done. So my mom's like, I'm just gonna sit, you guys all watch your stuff. I'm just gonna sit here and read and relax. So we all went down to the beach and just kind of played in the water. It was so cold. Casey and her mom found me a sand dollar, and Anna and her husband were just there chilling on the beach. We had a good time with that. I went back up to see my mom, and we did a little bit of shopping. There's all those oyster parties on Facebook, so as a joke, my boyfriend loves to watch them and just get on there and mess with the people doing them. So I bought him one of the oysters that he can open himself and put the pearl like in a little necklace. And I got myself just like a jacket, and I bought my boyfriend a shirt and my brother a shirt. I know that all the companions went and got some food while we were waiting for our Uber to come back and get us. The Uber on the way back, she was the sweetest lady. She just had so many questions about our surgery, and she picked up almost all of our bags and loaded them in, even though there was like 6 of us. So we got back to the airport, and we had to quickly go through security. I got pulled to the side because of the stuff that you drink before you take your antibiotics. They just tested it and sent us on our way. So I looked, and it told us 1 portal, and we ran over to the portal, and that was the wrong portal. And my mom was like, I just can't make it. So I ran and I found a guy on a cart and I was like, will you help I was like, my mom hurt her leg, her stent's giving out, will you please help her get to this other portal? It was only like 2 portals away. So he picked us up. My mom and I were the last people to board the flight. There was no more room, so they checked our bags, which was actually kind of nice that we didn't have to worry about that. So we didn't get to sit by each other on the flight home. The flight home was really short. And when we arrived, my mom was just, her leg was just hurting so bad. So I ran and I actually got our bags from the baggage claim, and she had someone push her in a wheelchair. And then my dad was there, so I just texted him and said, hey, we're outside, and he came and picked us up. And that was my whole entire Tijuana journey. I had such a blast. I met my sleeve sisters, which I will be friends with for life. If my sleeve sisters are watching this, I just want you to know that I love you all, and y'all are such a big inspiration to me. I love seeing your progress. We talk just about every day on our Facebook group chat. So if you are going, I do recommend getting close to the girls that you're with there, because they were so kind. We all shared gas X strips. We shared just what we were doing, how we were doing, what we found in Tijuana to eat or drink, or it was a really fun experience. Like I said, I never once felt unsafe. Everyone was so nice, helping us in the gas stations and the stores, helping us change out our US dollars for pesos. All the nurses were great. They spoke very good English. The doctors were great. Everyone in the welcome center was awesome, and overall I just had a really amazing experience. I just want to thank A Lighter Me for my new lease on life. So now I will show you sorry, you're gonna have to look at my chubby belly, but I thought I would show you my wounds. So this one is my drain. I have a little one right here, one here, and one right there. I'm so thankful for the opportunity that I got to go. I had a positive experience, and I would recommend anybody who's on the fence or thinking about it to jump off the fence and jump onto the loser's bench. It's been such a positive experience, and I'm so thankful that I took the chance and just went and did it. If you have any questions, please comment them down below. And I know this is a long video, but if you liked it, please like and subscribe to my channels to watch the updates and how my weight loss journey goes. Okay, bye guys.